Hello, my name is Onision, and today I would like to talk about Shane Dawson. So what is my connection with Shane Dawson? This is a clip of him talking about generally what his status was with me a couple years ago.
Like, I would make alliances with people who hate me. For example, you have Onision. That guy talks about me in every single video. I'm glad I'm getting you views, girl. Thanks.
Fact. I have made thousands of videos. Fact. I do not talk about Shane Dawson in every video. Fact. I don't even talk about Shane Dawson in 1 out of every 10 videos that I make. Those are facts.
But obviously, there's like a very public thing where he hates me. So what I would do is publicly in the house, I'd have like a fight with him and I'd be like, stop talking about me. And he'd be like, and then I would take him to a closed room and say, listen, bitch, first of all, I love your wig. It's beautiful. It's red. I don't get it, but I love it. Second of all, we need to form an alliance. Tell nobody. We'll fight in public. And then in private, we'll have each other's back.
If Shane Dawson asked me to have a fake drama with him, I would turn him down. That is a fact. Another fact. My drama with Shane Dawson is not a publicity stunt. This should become more evident to many of you as this video progresses. Some time ago, Shane Dawson asked me to be in a video with him. When I say some time ago, we're talking almost exactly 9 years ago.
The first thing I thought was, why not hire a Shane Dawson impersonator to make a video for me?
Hey guys, Shane Dawson here. Have you ever had trouble asking a girl out on a date? Hey there, shorty. Want a tango tonight? The fuck is tango?
This collaboration with Shane Dawson resulted in me getting tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of subscribers. At a later point, I was part of a video where Shane Dawson was dared to kiss a boy, and that boy was me. I wound up being Shane Dawson's first gay kiss.
I did say I would do it no matter what.
Close your eyes. We're gonna choose who's gonna kiss you. Ready?
First of all, I just want to say, if a man does kiss me, I feel like I've done gayer things in my videos. Alright. Oh my god. Nobody's gonna do it anyway. Oh my god.
Ready? Do it, ready? Look up, look up, look up! Look up, look up! Look up! Shane, look up!
I just want to point out, Shane Dawson may have been hesitant to do this because it was a big deal to him, or maybe it wasn't a big deal to him. Maybe he was just nervous.
Shane, look up! Shane, look up!
Come here, Shane.
Shane!
After this video was made, I got an enormous amount of compliments and so forth. As I recall, I gained about 4,000 subscribers from this because Shane did not link to me in the video anywhere.
Fuck it, go, someone, go.
Do it! Alright, go! Just do it! We already know who's doing it. Just do it.
So you may think that this was a traumatic experience for Shane, so we will let Shane describe what happened himself. Here's Shane Dawson discussing what the kiss was like approximately 6 years after it happened. Now I just want to establish that if I talked about something 6 years after it happened, many people would for a fact say that I'm obsessed, that I'm a creep, that I need to get over it, things like that. But here's Shane 6 years later talking about the kiss.
Either way, I'm waiting for my kiss, and then slowly, it hits my mouth, and it felt wet, it felt soft. It felt like a womanly angel. And then I opened my eyes and it was Onision.
Alright, so as you guys saw in the clip prior, Shane did not describe that accurately. He knew I was going to kiss him before it even happened. But clearly here, he either forgot or he's lying. To my understanding, there is no real reason for him to lie about this. So I personally am just going to assume that he forgot. Regardless, 6 years after the fact, he's talking about the kiss in an optimistic way.
His skin was very soft, very supple. His lips were extremely chapsticked, which I appreciated. And his breath was almost like pixie sticks. It was kind of like kissing an escort. Like an escort who really fixed themselves up in the car before they went in the house. You know what I mean? Like they really put on a show. They really want you happy.
Alright, so clearly Shane Dawson just described it as what many would perceive as a positive experience. Meanwhile, I have repeatedly described it as a experience which I did not enjoy. To be blunt, it was the worst kiss I had ever experienced in my life. While it is a fact that I feel this way, this is merely a description of my position and not so much what this video is about. In 2017, I made a video where I discussed having been stood up by Shane Dawson. Shane Dawson not only stood me up when I said I was coming to California and he confirmed that he would see me and we would hang out, but he also bailed on a project that I had invested money, many hours in, even made a song for. Shane Dawson had repeatedly let me down when he himself proclaimed that we were friends. And eventually Eventually, I straight up terminated our friendship despite his popularity, because friendship to me is very clearly, very factually, not just about whether or not you're famous. Eventually, someone posted something to Twitter using the hashtag Shane Dawson Exposed. Ever since, Shane Dawson stood me up repeatedly, despite him proclaiming that we were friends, and despite us collaborating multiple times prior. When this highly edited, out of context video came out, it checked off a lot of boxes for me.
This child was probably 6 years old, and I was taking a picture of something, and the kid turns to me and goes, "Oh, are you Instagramming?" And first of all, how does a 5-year-old, 6-year-old know what Instagram is? Which is terrifying. Second of all, I was embarrassed because yes, I was, and it was a picture of my salad. And the 6-year-old girl goes, "Oh, how many followers do you have?" I have 125,000.
No.
Her dick was almost as big as mine.
Really?
And I said, "Okay, little big dick."
All right, I'd like to establish Shane Dawson could be joking about saying little big dick to a 5 or 6-year-old. But just to be clear, society, most people do not speak to children this way. However, I am going to assume that he did not say, "Okay, little big dick," to a 5 or 6-year-old.
Instagrams, which are like, first of all, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but like, she's like sexy.
All right, based on everything I know, Shane actually did describe a 5 or 6-year-old this way on his podcast. However, it is possible that he could be joking. My question to you is, do we as a society accept someone describing a 5 or 6-year-old that they say they have actually met? Do we accept as a society that this adult man would describe this 5 or 6-year-old that way?
He's like sexy.
You're disgusting.
I know, listen, we've talked about pedophilia
this is
before.
All right, so she says, "You're disgusting," and he says, "Yeah, I know. Let's go back and listen."
You're disgusting.
I know, listen,
He said, "Yeah, I know. Listen."
we've talked about pedophilia
This
before.
is Shane. Like, do not say this, and like, I don't even want to talk about it. Like, you will get arrested.
All right, so we have his co-host who is there with him. She could be joking. This could all be one big joke. However, it could also be not a joke. She is simply a co-host, or someone who could be perceived as the voice of reason, the flat line to Shane Dawson's comedy. But she informs him that he could go to jail for what he is doing.
Like, he kind of can.
Listen,
he has this
allegedly-
justification for pedophilia,
Okay.
and it's so disturbing. And like, I just pretend that he doesn't.
Okay, wait,
and,
no,
like,
no, let me explain. Let me
No.
explain.
All right, so let's go back and listen to what she said again, as it's very important.
Listen, we've talked about pedophilia
this
before.
is Shane. Like, do not say this, and like, I don't even want to talk about it. Like, you will get arrested. Like, he kind of can.
Listen,
he has this
allegedly-
justification for pedophilia,
Okay.
and it's so disturbing. And like, I just pretend that he doesn't.
Okay, wait,
and,
no,
like,
no, let me explain.
So she just said that he has his justification for pedophilia, and that she pretends that he doesn't. I want you guys to ask yourself, why is his co-host saying this? Why is she trying to shut him down? Why is she saying that he could go to jail for what he's saying? This is someone who's actively with Shane Dawson. And I also want you to ask yourself, if I said these things and my co-host said that I have my justifications for pedophilia, and my co-host expressed how uncomfortable they were with me saying these things about a literal 5 or 6-year-old, how would you guys react to someone who knows me in real life talking about how horribly disturbing what I was saying was, and saying that I could go to jail for saying what I'm saying?
Let me
No.
explain.
Oh, God.
Here's my justification for
I
pedophilia.
can't.
All right, when he says, "Here's my justification for pedophilia," there's a good chance that he's joking. However, most would probably perceive this as Shane Dawson not looking very good, because he's metaphorically, possibly, backed into a corner.
Here's my thing. People have foot fetishes. People have fetishes about, everything. Fine, everybody do your thing. So why is it when somebody looks at Google's like naked baby on Google and jerks off to it, they can get arrested? I don't understand that.
Because
All right, so this is Shane Dawson likely not joking. It is not a fact that he isn't or is joking without first establishing whether or not he actually holds this opinion. But he just stated that he does not understand why people would get arrested for looking up inappropriate images of very, very young children and gratifying themselves to it. He said everything in his own voice. And the fact that people don't see this disturbs me on a personal level. I do not understand how someone could say what Shane said and have society act like it's okay.
Here's
So,
the
like-
worst part of it. I actually went to Google and I'm like, I
Oh,
kind
God.
of want to see.
You could
I
get
don't wanna-
arrested.
I know, but I just wanted to see, like, okay, let me pretend like I'm a pedophile for a sec.
All right, so this is where Shane actually says that he himself went to Google and looked up actual images of actual babies without clothes. Now, me personally, I would say that only someone who is into children or someone who is incredibly mentally delusional would do something like that. However, it is up to you to determine for your own personal life whether or not that is something that you would consider acceptable or unacceptable for a grown man to do. Literally, Google those things.
So I typed in naked baby. First of all, they were sexy.
When Shane says that he typed in naked baby, then he described them also as SEXY. That sounded to me like a joke. However, the problem is when he spoke of searching for this and actually described the results, that did not sound to me like a joke. But that is not necessarily for me to determine. It is not necessarily conclusive. And that is why this video exists. We're going to go much deeper.
So I look at this little girl's pictures and she had makeup on, she had her tongue out, she was doing like the peace sign, she was doing a backflip.
Is she like Honey Boo Boo? Is she fat?
No, she was like the skinny little sexy 6-year-old.
All right, so let's just establish that most people in society would very likely not be okay with a grown man describing a 6-year-old as that. If you or someone you know describes a 6-year-old as that, you should probably get help or get them help.
12-year-old girls with bald eagle tattoos is kind of sexy.
So, Shane Dawson could be joking when he describes that girl that way. Many would perceive this as creepy, but the way he said it sounded like he was joking.
Somehow came across this random YouTube channel of this girl who was singing covers. I think the way we got there was because we were watching a Jacob Sartorius video, don't ask.
I just want to establish it doesn't matter if a grown man is watching a Jacob Sartorius video. You're allowed to watch videos of 15-year-olds if they're entertainers or whatever, so long as those videos are not in any way sexualized.
I'm gonna find that little girl, I'm gonna bring her to our house. I tweeted her, DM'd her, Instagrammed her, and messaged her on every platform. Time to meet the star.
All right, they ask, why is a 30-year-old man meeting up with a 13-year-old girl? I personally cannot answer this question. Personally, I feel like there's no justification for that. I am fairly certain that many people would want to have me arrested.
Hands for this? Okay. Just to be safe. We're gonna be together forever. Okay. He knows you like Jesus. Oh. All right, give me a hug. I love you.
I love you too.
Was that for the video? Come on! Come here, fake son. Come in my reef.
All right, so all of these things, him hugging the boy and so forth, they're trying to make it look like he is somehow being inappropriate to the boy, which some people would perceive this as inappropriate. However, I don't personally think that these things alone imply that he's some kind of creep. Because reality check, Shane Dawson is an entertainer, and him simply hugging a child actor like he's seen hugging a child actor here, him putting his arm around the child actor, him holding hands with the child. Again, you have to realize that everything Shane is doing here is part of the joke that he has this kid who is an actor in a video that he is making for entertainment on YouTube. If he touched this boy inappropriately, that would be an issue. Notice his hand placement at the bottom is on the boy's hands, which isn't necessarily inappropriate. However, if we did in fact find out that Shane was in fact into children like he himself implied he was when he described children as SEXY, again we're talking about 6-year-olds, 12-year-olds, prepubescent children, then yes, everything he's doing here would be inappropriate. However, this by itself would be considered inappropriate by the general masses if they had that knowledge that he was in fact attracted to children. Alright, so here is just something that tore apart this person's entire video more than most anything else. If someone is an adult, at that point it doesn't really matter for the most part how they look. I personally believe that both these individuals look very much so like adults, and it is a fact that these people are adults.
Oh, and she sent me a picture of herself. Yeah, she's definitely into sex toys.
I'm sorry, can we go back?
Oh, and she sent me a picture of herself. Yeah, she's definitely into sex toys.
He just said, yeah, she's definitely... Okay, so that is one of those jokes that Shane later apologized for, correct?
And her hair is practically a sex toy. Look at all...
Alright, he is definitely talking about a child in association with something that should not be connected to children whatsoever.
I mean, her hair is practically a sex toy. Look at all those anal beads.
So it's obvious to me that he is just trying to be funny here.
That's the worst thing ever when like a kid who you know who's like so cute and little, you're like, yeah, spray them! And then you see them again and they're like 8 feet tall and their voice is like this. And they have like that weird beard hair. Ugh, just stay a baby forever.
In my personal opinion, there is nothing wrong with someone saying that someone should stay a kid forever. This is a YouTuber named Basherverse. People had stated he violated another human being, and this is how he reacted to that accusation.
I'm so freaking tired of it. I'm like going absolutely freaking mad. I didn't expect to freaking get this big, and I didn't expect my past and everything to get all out there. And Keemstar just keeps freaking, it's just constant barrage. Like all my videos are like, I've been up for so long and I'm so stressed right now, and it's just, I'm done. Do it anymore. I'm just done. Like, this isn't worth it. I'm so sorry, guys. You guys are like, you know how big of an inspiration I am to you guys. And
so clearly Basherverse resorted to an emotional reaction. Maybe he was trying to get sympathy, maybe he's actually just genuinely very stressed out, but this situation escalates.
So I'm done! I'm fucking done!
The question is, would an innocent man react that way? Well, that depends on the man. Human minds are incredibly complicated. Our responses to different stresses varies. Someone could be as upset as Basherverse at being cut off in traffic as Basherverse is upset about these accusations. I also want to show you guys what happens when some men are accused of horrible crimes and how they naturally react.
I don't care, you know? I mean, I took a girl's virginity before, you know? She's in my fucking bedroom, dude. She's in my bedroom. She's right there. I'm not a fucking rapist, dude. I am not a rapist. I am a good guy. I've only been with a few women. I'm not a rapist. This girl came back to my house. She's 18. She's a virgin. She's telling me she wants to lose her virginity, man. Like, she's ready to do it and everything. And then right a couple seconds before, and she's like, I don't know, and stuff like that. I mean, that's how girls get when they lose virginity.
But this guy is very fixed on the idea that he is 100% innocent, and he reacts with saying, I am not an effing this, because that seems to be the natural reaction of someone accused of a horrible thing. I am not an effing this. So after the video about Shane came out, where he clearly associated a little girl with toys that are for adults only, when he described a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old as repeatedly SEXY, after he defended the literal topic of men looking up undressed children and saying that he doesn't understand why that's criminal. After all those things, this is his response.
I don't want arrested.
I know, but I didn't want to see child porn. But I just wanted to see, like, okay, let me pretend like I'm a pedophile for a sec.
Okay, by the way, just for the record, police, I have nothing to do with this. I didn't know this. Like, you can literally get arrested for saying
I know.
this.
Let me finish. Sorry. So I typed in naked baby. First of all, I don't understand why anybody would be turned on by that. But
That's the first good thing you said.
But it was sexy. I'm kidding. Okay, back to the Instagram.
So that is very important, that whole clip. The fact that the other people edited that out of context is a huge problem. But what also is likely a huge problem is that Shane didn't address all the things that many members of society would view as horribly inappropriate.
I cannot believe that I am having to make this video. I cannot believe that this is happening.
Personally, I'm not sure why he's surprised that this was the conclusion after everything he has said and done around children. Let me show you some things that he had done with his own little cousin.
Job, Lucy, but next time, shake your titties more.
Santa Claus, because she always calls me a ho, ho, ho. My favorite flavor of popsicle is dick.
The original clip was from a Shane Dawson video that Shane Dawson deleted. He likely deleted it for the obvious reason. Shane Dawson has done things that he knows are inappropriate with children.
Go on record saying, I am not a fucking pedophile.
I'm not a fucking rapist, dude.
I am not a fucking pedophile!
Alright, so that sounds very familiar. But this does not make Shane guilty or not guilty. It merely means that he reacted to this by cussing and yelling at a camera. That does not mean that he is guilty of being literally attracted to children. He's just a man who has repeatedly stated himself that he is attracted to children. Whether or not that was a joke or not a joke is really inside his own head. We can perceive it one way or the other, but ultimately, that's him.
But you guys know, I've talked about it so much on my channel. I was molested. You know this.
This might be important to note. Being violated as a kid doesn't produce people who will violate later. It says here anywhere between 33% and 75% of offenders report being violated as children. Meanwhile, others have debunked this theory. To debunk this theory, they used a polygraph, and they said that initially 61% of offenders were violated as children, but later on it turned out to be 30% after the polygraph. Polygraphs are said to be anywhere from 70% to 90% accurate. And as I said before, human beings are complicated, so whether or not the polygraph is measuring whether or not you're lying or another physical distress that you have, that is to be determined case by case. Allegedly, it's very easy to beat a polygraph simply by psychologically trying to overcome them with certain mental strategies. Point being, it's safe to conclude that Shane Dawson is not a pedo based on his childhood alone. Me personally, I was never violated as a child. I've known people who were, but I personally was not. I do, however, know that my father is a child predator and he was violated as a child. So from personal experience, I know that being abused as a child can lead to abusing others in life. But that doesn't mean that Shane is guilty.
On the fact that there are people in Hollywood that have molested kids and have been arrested for it and are still working in Hollywood. That's proof, and that's fucked up. And that's what people should be focusing on. But instead, they're focusing on a YouTuber who made a stupid joke.
Alright, so what Shane is doing here is a logical fallacy. He's answering criticism with criticism. He's trying to avoid having to engage a topic entirely by him by turning his accusations towards society or Hollywood. You guys think I'm bad, so look at society, look at Hollywood.
To me, that seems not only crazy, but also distracting from the real issues that are going on right now.
Right.
People who've been watching me for a long time know, like, how much I've grown and changed, and how much my videos have changed, how much my humor has changed. I would never do that now, ever. I am so sorry if that triggered you, or offended you, or hurt your feelings.
Just to point out, what's profitable for him right now is condemning his former behavior. And that's exactly what he's doing. He knows that if he were to say, no, I was joking, I'm not ashamed, then of course many people would be upset with him. But instead, he backed down, and as a result, the majority of people supported him. Shane Dawson, like most human beings, is a puppet to society, doing what society tells him to do, having the morals society agrees with, telling the jokes that he feels won't upset people. At the time, not as many people were upset, but now a lot of people are upset. So of course, to maintain his career, to continue to push himself forward, he says he was ashamed.
It triggers me listening to that clip. I haven't listened to that clip ever because I recorded it and then I didn't listen back. So listening to me joking about it fucks me up. And it makes me go like, oh my God, like what the fuck was I doing?
On a personal level, this section of the video is rather upsetting to me, considering I personally was outraged by the things that Shane said. And Shane is expressing that he is outraged by the things he said. Yet society has responded to me being outraged by the things that Shane has said by casting me out, by cursing my name, by pretending I'm a total monster for reacting pretty much exactly the same way Shane Dawson or most anyone else would likely react if I was the one to say those things. There's an enormous double standard in society for this issue.
Literally, what the fuck was I doing? But I look back at a lot of my old videos and I say, what the fuck was I doing?
And the main issue here is that Shane says, what was I doing? When he literally expressed an opinion stating that he does not understand why people go to jail for literally being attracted to children. He doesn't understand it. He literally said that himself. And my question is, has he addressed that? Has he gone through in depth explaining why that opinion was so wrong?
I mean, there's so many things I've done in the past that I'm like embarrassed of, ashamed of, and I've lost so much because of it. Like,
all right, so now Shane is trying to make himself look like the victim when he is in fact the center of the criticism.
I've apologized many times for videos, and I've genuinely meant it, and I've changed my videos because of it. This is the first time I've had to, like, literally had to tell people I'm not a pedophile. That's a first.
Right, we get it, Shane. You're a victim. You did a bunch of things that were totally bad by society's eyes, and now we should all feel very bad for you because you got called out for it. But this strategy that Shane is utilizing is perfect for his audience of young women who are very impressionable.
It's also hard right now because I'm in such a good place. Like, I've been in such a bad place before.
Okay, let's stop talking about what a victim you are, please.
The real me, I'm showing my boyfriend, I'm showing my family more. I'm showing the real side of me. I'm not making crazy offensive jokes. I'm talking to the camera like a normal person rather than doing the old like. So right now it just sucks that this is like a thing because I'm like, this was 6 years ago. And I'm so proud of, like, especially this week, I'm so proud of the videos that went up this week.
Right. So what he's trying to do is to have us let go of the past. And this is a fact. Because wouldn't it be so much easier, guys, if you just let this go? Wouldn't it be so much easier if we all just pretended this never happened? And this is the kind of guilt tripping that I would expect from my own father. I want you guys to understand something. My father has violated his own child. My father has violated my own adult family members. My father has no doubt violated more people than just that. And what he would do if he was ever accused face to face, I believe this 100%, is he would take part in exactly the strategy that Shane Dawson takes. Tries to distract from the issue by victimizing himself, insists that it's not true, willing to be dishonest, straight to your face. My father even openly stated to one of my family members that he understands why people would want to beat someone like him to death. He clearly has a position against people like him, just like Shane Dawson does.
And Lucy, I checked my statistics and I have a lot of child molesters watching, so can you please eat a cocktail weenie? Do it slow. Oh.
Oh, I like that chocolate, that weenie. Ooh, it tastes so good.
All right. So you could easily say that was a joke. They're all having fun. They're all joking around. Maybe Shane is just simply super messed up, is having trouble dealing with his childhood. But what bothers me is that people come to a concrete conclusion on the end of his innocence simply because he said he's innocent.
And I thought, because I made a joke that day in a video saying like, oh, Keemstar is going to DM me about being a child molester because I flew out a fan who was 14 to my house.
Wait, Shane Dawson just said that he doesn't tell those jokes anymore. So lying is obviously the number one tactic of predators, as you can see at the top right here. Not telling the whole story, that's what Shane did by not addressing every single clip that he says was taken out of context, but instead he only addressed one where he proved that it was taken out of context. He was jumping all over the place with mood swings by screaming and cussing and then being all normal and then getting kind of emotional. The punishment again is the yelling and the cussing. The denial is very clear. Spinning the truth, trying to devalue everything that's said about him by saying it's all just jokes and that he was saying messed up jokes, but never really again telling the whole story, like him trying to justify people being a pedo, where in one podcast he said that he didn't view it as very different from people who have foot fetishes, or the clip that I played you where he states that he doesn't understand why people get arrested for looking up children who are not clothed. And again, that's minimalizing. And then of course he went to play the victim. You could say he targeted the victim, i.e. people calling him out. But the real victims are to be determined. Because so far, all he's said is that he Googled actual children in that situation. So I guess it would be all the children that he Googled and described the results that he saw. He did have positive reinforcement by trying again to distract to all the good things he's been doing as of late. Saying his life's been better than ever. Trying to be as nice as possible to his audience and not actually stay on point to the actual accusations. Diversion is what he definitely did repeatedly in his video.
Or, for example, example, they're saying, oh, Shane talked about Googling naked babies, which, by the way, I never did. Like, I was making a joke and telling a story and lying and being like, well,
So he actually addresses that he lied.
which, by the way, I never did. Like, I was making a joke and telling a story and lying and being like, well, I Googled naked babies. Of course I didn't Google fucking naked babies. I'm busy. I don't have time to Google fucking naked babies.
This just got blown open. All right, so Shane just said that he didn't have time to Google that because he's busy, right? But what you're about to see is Shane Dawson literally searching on YouTube for inappropriate videos of children.
Webcam kids. A bunch of shit pops up. Now you're probably thinking, oh, these are just videos of kids talking to a webcam. That's totally innocent. Well, when you zoom in, all of these videos have hundreds of thousands of views.
Let's go back and hear what he just said.
Of course I didn't Google fucking naked babies. I'm busy. I don't have time to Google fucking naked babies.
You just have time to Google, what was it? Webcam kids?
Hundreds of thousands. And they're literally just videos like this. A little kid sitting talking about nothing. So who the fuck is searching webcam kids?
You are. You just searched it and you showed the result.
And when you watch it, she's clearly underage.
Let's just establish Shane Dawson watched this. Shane Dawson, for a fact, did actually Google webcam girls. So apparently, he's willing to not only lie. Shane Dawson clearly indicates here that he searched webcam kids. So Shane is clearly willing to imply that he would never Google such a thing. Yet here he is searching for a very similar thing. Webcam kids?
Very young, and it has 280,000 views and comments like this. Best legs on YouTube. More, please. I really wish they were legal.
Well, Shane, maybe they were all just joking, like you. It's very odd to be offended by people who could simply say they're just joking when you act like people are ridiculous when they get offended by you saying that you were just joking.
So I typed in naked baby. First of all, they were sexy.
How is this okay? How is this legal? I don't know.
This is confusing because you're saying that these fully clothed kids being looked up should be illegal when you earlier clearly stated that you don't understand why it's illegal for people to actually gratify themselves to content that is actually literally illegal.
I don't even want to show you these videos because they're so fucking disturbing. But just to give you an example, I'm going to show you some thumbnails. This first thumbnail, a mom putting a bunch of shots into her daughter's naked butt.
Alright, so Shane didn't censor out the naked butt, but I did, because my standards are a little bit higher than Shane's. I'm not going to show a prepubescent child with their naked butt.
Her butt, naked. This video has over 800,000 views. This next thumbnail, a girl crying while her mom puts a bunch of shots in her butt. 500,000 views. And then just look at all of these videos on this one channel I found.
Clearly he did a lot of searching. And by the way, just a reality check to most everyone. This is likely not going to be beneficial to your career to Google or YouTube search for children in inappropriate situations. In fact, it's clips like these that directly contradict Shane's whole position, as this video was much more recent, and yet he's acting like he would never search for these things.
I mean, shots in the butt over and over and over again. Look at the bottom one. It's literally a butt. Just a naked child's butt. So what does this mean? Here's what I think it means. I think there's a lot of fucking fucked up people in the world, and they know that pedophiles are watching the internet. So they feel like they can make videos that aren't technically porn, but will still please pedophiles.
I'm sorry, did you just say that people make videos that they think will please pedos? You're really grossed out by anybody who tries to make a video where they clearly show that they're trying to make something that pedos would enjoy.
6, and I have a lot of child molesters watching, so can you please eat a cocktail weenie?
Yep, that's about the face that Shane would likely be making right now, saying how red-handed he is.
But either way, it's like, I literally found a talented girl online, brought her out, had her record a song with me, made 2 videos with her. She got hundreds of thousands of subscribers.
I don't understand why he's pointing that out. Why is he pointing out, oh, I benefited this person? It appears this is yet another distraction. Hey guys, look at all the nice things that I did for this person. That means I'm innocent.
Night, because of you guys, but also because of the video that I made with her. And they're flipping that on me saying I'm a pedophile. Because I helped someone.
See, that is not why. Oh my gosh. Nobody said that because you helped somebody, you are like that. They're saying that you are like that because grown men typically do not fly young girls out to work with them. And when I say young girls, I'm talking about people who are not legal in your state for you to have a adult relationship with, and therefore that makes people uncomfortable. For instance, in my state, it's legal for me to literally be romantic with someone as young as 16. However, as an adult, the biggest age gap I've ever had and the youngest person I've ever been with, again, as an adult, was when I was 26 and I wound up marrying someone who I was originally with when they were 17. And that 17-year-old had lied about their age. By the time they told me, it was already too late because I had already fallen for them. And even so, our relationship was legal in both of our states. So because it was legal, I wasn't going to turn my back on anyone. But that person I've now been married to for more than 6 years. They are 24 now. I am 33. So what I'm saying is people were mad at you because you flew a 14-year-old out, and that is not someone an adult man should be flying out to work with. Or at least that is their opinion.
Fuck you.
Right. That is a very strange emotional twist there. We have that frequent mood swing throughout this video.
Because I helped someone. Fuck you.
Yeah, that's a little uncomfortable. Not exactly mentally sound.
Whoever did that. That's so fucked up.
Again, he is playing the victim card, which it's really interesting how many boxes we could check off on this list. Hopefully he doesn't express love in this video as well. Otherwise we have basically, 16 out of 20 boxes checked off?
It's just like, I can't.
So he's just yelling F you at the camera and now he's chill again. All right.
I'm proud of what I'm making. I'm proud that I've grown up. I'm proud that I don't make crazy jokes anymore.
You don't make crazy jokes anymore.
And I thought, because I made a joke that day in a video saying like, oh, Keemstar is going to DM me about being a child molester.
Wow. This was February 23rd, 2018. He said he doesn't make those jokes anymore, yet here he is making those jokes. All right.
Good things and cool things and helping people and not just doing dumb shit or blowing up houses or whatever the fuck. The fact that I posted videos this week that are about me helping a young girl in the music industry, the fact that those did well and the fact that you guys enjoyed those is so cool and so awesome. Like,
oh God, here he comes. This is the flattery. Now he's relying on flattery right here. Using charm, praise. He's all over the place.
that doesn't, like, years ago on YouTube, I had to do the craziest shit to get views. Crazy stuff. And now I get to just help people and, like, be myself and hang out with my friends and my family. Like, that's just so cool. And I don't want this to fuck that up. So that's my story. Thank you guys for being on this journey with me. I know. If you've been here for a while, we've had this before. But this is next level. This is actually really fucked up. And I'm really sad.
Okay, so we were angry, we were chill, we were joking around, and now we're sad. It's a roller coaster of emotion.
Okay. I love you guys.
Oh, God, he did it. He did it. Okay, there you go. The love. So on the 20 most common manipulation techniques used by predators, we have lying. He admitted in the video to lying. We have not telling the whole story. He only actually played one clip out of context. He didn't address even half of them by playing them out of context. He had frequent mood swings. He did have love bombing. The punishment was him shouting, which could come off as mental abuse. The denial, of course, goes hand in hand with the lying. The spinning the truth. He said that he doesn't make those jokes anymore. He's still making very similar inappropriate jokes. And he's also, of course, cherry picking what he actually wants to address. He's minimalizing it, trying to say as much as possible it's not a big deal. He repeatedly played the victim. The victim in this situation would be the accuser, who he would talk about how wrong they were. And then he would also try to target other people in Hollywood as if they were worse than him. He sucked up to his audience more, was trying to be charming to his audience, showered them with the love. Still don't know what this means. Again, he tried to distract repeatedly to numerous other things like his current projects and all the other people that are bad. He used sarcasm, but he gets a free pass on that. He's a comedian. Tried to guilt trip people. Guys, this is so hard for me. Tried to flatter his audience again. Definitely played the innocent card the whole time. He had the over-the-top aggression randomly. This isn't really applicable because it's to people that they actually know in real life. I could not see any isolation. And then he said, I love you guys. But
That's just you making a joke.
Yeah, no kid came forward or no parent came forward and said like, oh, whatever.
People are saying.
Yeah, so that was the confusing part. And
this is important to note too. It's very important that no kid has yet come forward. Because attraction to kids and actually doing things against kids are two often different things. So do I personally think that Shane has violated kids? I don't know. So I can't say, hey, you violated kids. But what I can say is that this guy has repeatedly indicated attraction to said kids by his own words. He said that they're jokes later on, yet so many things have happened that it makes it incredibly difficult to believe that. Because there's very little evidence that he's not, but there's tons of evidence that he might be. And that is a fact.
Cut it up even more and put it on Twitter. They took out the jokey parts. And I think that person was like, oh no, okay, how do I make it obvious that this was fake?
All right, so Shane is saying that the initial video that we saw in the beginning of this video was actually a parody. The problem with that theory is that based on my own perception, it didn't really seem jokey at all. The video went after his network. The video went after him personally. There was no badooch, but I think that Shane's trying to say this is a parody. Minimalize.
It was because it was so stupid.
Right.
Their evidence of me fucking my boyfriend who has a baby face.
Right. He keeps focusing on that one thing when it was actually, I think, 5 seconds of the total video. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So about 9 to 10 seconds of a 5-minute video. That's what Shane has repeatedly love to point out.
I can't think of the alternative because it's like, well, if it was some person that was trying to ruin my life, they wouldn't have put the baby face stuff in there. You know what I mean? So
clearly Shane Dawson knows that that's the one thing in the video that is so ridiculous. And so my question is, why does he keep using that? He should address the point that is the strongest, not the weakest, and act like that is all of them. Sounds to me like another cherry-picking logical fallacy.
So I know this is probably weird that I talked about it and you guys are like, why are you bringing light to this? But personally, I wanted to bring light to this. If you don't bring something like this to the light, then it just stays in the dark, and more kids will be exploited. And it happens more than you think.
Okay, hold on. Shane is talking about how concerned he is for kids being exploited, right? And if he's a genuine human being, he would never exploit children in the same way. This is what he considers exploitation.
And they're literally just videos like this.
Alright, so Shane thinks that a girl just sitting there, literally just sitting there, is horrible, right? That appears to be his position.
My name is Gabby, I'm 12 years old, and I'm pregnant as fuck! I named my pussy Rihanna because she loves to get beat up!
I just want to be clear, this is from Shane Dawson's video. Shane Dawson is responsible for having this literal, in real life child say these things. And now cue Shane Dawson pretending to be a completely different person.
Personally, I wanted to bring light to this. If you don't bring something like this to the light, then it just stays in the dark, and more kids will be exploited.
Yes, if I don't bring this to the light, then more kids will be exploited. Roll that clip.
My favorite flavor of popsicle is dick!
That is a child, and it's a Shane Dawson video. Shane put it on his channel, and it's very likely Shane was responsible for her saying that.
Michael Jackson didn't molest me, I molested his fine ass!
It happens more than you think. They are not paying me to give them a shout out, by the way. They are just a non-profit organization that's really incredible, and their job is to get rid of child porn and all of these children being exploited.
Alright, so who would be so intensely supportive of anti-pedo organizations while being a person like that as well themselves? I can't fathom, right? It seems impossible. I mean, it would be enormous compensating if someone were to go that far to try and distract from who they are themselves. So let's go ahead and find out. Oh, this looks like an interesting article. Founder of one of the largest children's charities in the world arrested. He was apparently caught with 2 young children during a police raid. And this is someone who makes himself look like he's a hero for children. I've seen another example of someone who was actually literally protesting child abuse while being arrested later for preying on children themselves later on. It's what a lot of people think they need to do in order to seem innocent. But of course, just protesting it doesn't mean you're guilty, and this doesn't mean that Shane is guilty.
It was nuts. Personally, it was nuts. My family, it was really bad. Just because like that word is so triggering.
Sure.
You know, like I've been molested. Like it's a long-running thing in my family. I'm very anti.
It's a long-running thing in your family? Are we talking multiple generations or what? Are you saying it's hereditary?
So when it came back at me and people were calling me a pedophile, it's the worst thing they could call me. Literally the worst. I can't think of anything else.
Yeah.
Really good playing that victim. And I just want to say, Shane could be a victim. He could just have been completely and utterly inappropriate and very unwise with how he chose to spend his time around children. He knows for a fact that the things he did were inappropriate.
But yeah, money-wise, it fucked me up. I lost, brand deals.
Just so you guys know, Shane Dawson makes anywhere from $1,000 to probably upwards of $100,000 per video, depending on how successful it is. So when you hear him talking about financial issues, please do not take that seriously. He is misrepresenting his finances for a fact, because you cannot be as successful as Shane Dawson without having a great net worth. I mean, according to this, Shane Dawson's net worth is $4 million. We have another figure of $4 million, $3.2 million, says he makes about $1,500 daily. What we've established in this video is that Shane Dawson has continuously misrepresented himself. He loves to play the victim when actually he's part of the elite.
Other reasons, like, oh, this went away because of other things. And I'm like, really? Like, it happened 2 days after the pedophile thing.
Interestingly, what also happened around the same time is Shane Dawson deleted his video twerking in front of kids right after these accusations. And an innocent person probably would not go deleting these videos, probably. As you see here, he made it in 2014, new vid twerking in front of children. You click on it. Nope. It has been deleted. So my question is, why? And I just retweeted, so he'll probably delete this tweet soon. We'll see.
It was very much like, let's see what happens. And the story died pretty quickly. Because it's not a story. I didn't fuck a kid. So it's like, there is no story.
All right, so he said the story isn't anything because he didn't sleep with a kid. That wasn't the story. Nobody accused you. This is just more distraction. It's more dishonesty. The issue is not whether or not Shane slept with a kid. The issue is whether or not Shane is literally a pedo. And a pedo can be someone who is private about it, or they could actually be aggressive about it. It just depends.
Well, you shouldn't have made those jokes, or you shouldn't have had that conversation on a podcast, whatever. Kind of making it seem like it was my fault, which I understand. But also, like, a lot of those people, I'm like, this could happen to anybody.
Right. Absolutely.
Like, they took a thing from 6 years ago and edited it up. Imagine, like...
No, this couldn't happen to anybody, because not everybody describes little kids as SEXY. Not everybody has their little 12-year-old or 13-year-old cousin say the things that you had her say on camera, or do the things that you had her do on camera. Like, there was even a point where you, Shane Dawson, had told your little cousin to give someone a lap dance. And yes, you did it in a joking environment, but then you proceeded to film her dancing in front of this person that you told to give a lap dance to. We're talking about a 12 or 13-year-old. Shane has chosen to be the victim repeatedly, but he's a first world guy who's worth millions of dollars, and he seems to just be someone who's trying to preserve his success, and that's about it.
All of us have hours of content. Like, it could happen to anybody.
No, it could not happen to anybody.
Cleanest person in the world. Justine, who knows?
I completely agree. It could happen.
No, it could not happen to... Oh my god. This is literally just elitists trying to preserve other elitists. And when I say elitists, I'm talking like the guy right here, he's worth millions of dollars. Or at least in 2017, he was said to be $1.3 million in worth. I personally believe that's inaccurate. And I just want you guys to look at this edit.
Also super beautiful. Another gorgeous human.
All right, they're about to play another audio of me saying, yeah, this is a child exploitation over this picture of this girl. Does that look like a 5 or 6 year old to you? How about this? Does that look like a child to you? These look like, the girl has a tattoo. Multiple tattoos, it appears. She looks like every other adult I've ever seen, and I've never seen any confirmation that they're actually children. And if they were children, they posted to a forum where it was posted that only adults could be posting there. So again, are we all pedos for being attracted to people who very clearly appear to be adults? Is it wrong to be attracted to people who appear to be adults? That's my question. Hello, my name is Onision, and I am a pedophile. Wow. Okay, so this video is definitely a parody. And I just want to end this video on something Shane himself said, because this is one of the most important things you could possibly take out of this.
So why is it when somebody looks at Google's like naked baby on Google and jerks off to it, they can get arrested? I don't understand
because
that is not a joking tone. That is not a question that would sound to most people as fake. It sounds like he's literally genuinely asking a question about why people are punished for looking at inappropriate images of children. So the question is Shane a pedo? I have to see absolute 100 concrete proof. So I'm not slandering Shane. I'm merely presenting everything I could find on this topic. And this is why Shane has threatened to sue me, but has not yet sued me. Because if I show these clips in court, most any judge on planet Earth could see why I would say that what he did was entirely, even by his own description, highly inappropriate. And we're talking about me, a person who's actually met him multiple times, a person who terminated our friendship. I did not want to be friends with him anymore. I even refused to be on his podcast at one point when he indicated that he was interested in having me on. This is not about fame, because if it was, I would have sucked up to Shane Dawson this entire time, as that would have benefited me more. Bottom line, Shane Dawson would not trust him around any kids. Not after all the things he said, not after the things he filmed kids doing after he no doubt asked them to do those things. But this video is going to get overwhelming dislikes. You guys are going to rip me apart even more for this, and I would think that an honest person would see that as me having no incentive to even make this video. But the world is not fair, and I am not a victim, just a person who has the odds stacked against him but doesn't really care and wants to tell the truth regardless. So you guys have a great day. Goodbye.